Welcome back, folks, to the Valentine's Brawl. I'm your host, Shift A, and I'm joined by my two casters, Truth and Fair. We're gonna have some beautiful Valorant for y'all today. Um, Truth, how have you been?
I've been great, man. Been away for too long. Looking forward to get these games going and see what talent awaits us. What about you, Adam?
I mean, it's a nice. I wouldn't say it's nice, but it's a sunny and cold day here in Windsor. So, um, I mean, we have a Valorant tournament today, so I mean, we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, well, they say love is in the air, and hopefully some exciting matches as well to heat us up. Always good to get some competition going to heat up the soul.
That's true. Maybe Cupid will shoot his dart or Sova.
True, true. But yeah, what maps should we be expecting from these two teams, folks? We got any Haven? We got any? I don't even know any other.
Personally, I would love to see some like fracture, some crazy newer map that's in the pool. A lot of different ways to enter into the sites. Makes for a pretty entertaining game most of the time.
Yeah,
What about you, Adam?
I mean, if you're looking for more entertainment, I feel like Abyss. But if you're looking for more like competition, I think Bind is a great map to go for.
okay, I'll take us back to Fracture because Fracture is one of No Skill's specialties. We'll look at Spiky Roses there. Kill Me Face, No Skill, Varsil. Great names. They definitely do play a lot of Fracture in the other tournaments in the bracket. Um, so, I mean, if I'm the other team, I'd be a little worried about that. Speaking of the team, we'll be looking at their lineup just now as we have Schwa, Miracle, Lexi, Varsil, Spike Studios playing for Cupid's Arrows.
Speaking of, I mean, one of them's got to be a Sova player that has some crazy Sova lineups because they're going to be shooting people and love might be manifesting in the air. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'd be worried about that for the other team. They don't want to be too distracted from all the love in the air. They want to make sure they get the job done and win, right?
Of
That's true.
course. I mean, who do you think? Who are you looking out for today in this
Uh,
tournament?
Naturally, I root for love, so Cupid's arrow has got it for me. I am praying on their win.
Okay.
Well, I'd already mentioned No Skill from Spiky Roses. They did get a bye as late for date. We're late for the match last week, so they got an FF win. But that Cupid's Arrows versus Single Pringle match, I mean, that was an insane match. There's aces left, right, and center, and I mean, Cupid's Arrows just the straighter shooters, just able to take it out, and now they're here at the grand finals.
Every reason to believe that love will conquer. I mean, right? Like Cupid's arrows versus Single Pringle. Single Pringle don't got no girly, so I mean, what could you expect? Now we got what? Spiky Roses versus Cupid's arrow. It
hmm
sounds like love on both sides. Roses, Cupid's arrows. It's gonna be a tough battle, I think.
I mean, both definitely hurt when you touch them.
That's true.
So, but yeah, hopefully both teams at least enjoy the games, right? That's what we want at the end of the day. It is Valentine's Day. We want to love playing the game. We got love for the game. We got love for the competition. Um, and I mean, I'm just at a loss of words because it's almost palpable how much love is in the air. It fogs up your brain almost. Um,
That's true, especially with how well Varsiel's about to play. I mean, all of us might become a little bit infatuated. So I'm ready to see what these games have in store for us.
I mean, with love in the air, you sound like you have a love for no skill. You have a love for Varsal. I think I have a love for Miracle. I think Miracle's gonna like wow the stage out here today. I mean, I've had my eye out on him since like back when VSS was a thing.
Ooh, okay,
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 okay.
okay. All right, let's see
Won't
how he
judge.
I mean, if you know, you know.
does.
It's one of those things.
Pause, pause. Um, but yeah, I don't believe we're doing any map bans for today. They are just going to be hopping right into Haven. So, truth, fair, I'll leave you all to it.
Ooh, I was ready to see Varsiel running for the Sova. I'm not gonna lie, but instead he goes for the Reina lock. I wonder if there's gonna be any Sovas on either team. Come on,
Uh,
come on, Cupizero, give us a Sova.
I mean, Miracle. He's got the KO. He's always been a support player. So, I mean, he'll probably like show us some lineups. Maybe we'll see with the flashes. Maybe throw some like CS:GO lineups that'll come out of nowhere. I mean, I know it's 2 different games, but you never know what could happen. I mean, it's Valorant after all.
100%, man. And these players are showing us some interesting compositions. They are either way ahead of the meta or way behind it because we see KOs on Haven, which is not a frequent sight to see in the professional play, but maybe in the amateur it could be a little bit more meta. So let's see how these compositions end up playing out throughout the rest of this game.
100%. We have, I mean, a Brim and a Clove coming out from Cupid's arrows. Um, I haven't seen a lot of double smokes on Haven. I think the last we've went to as double smokes, it could have been like Viper and Omen, or like back when they used to run. I mean, I know Loud used to run a Viper and a Harbor comp at one point. I mean, that was when like Valorant was probably at its peak, back when the game was still kind of fresh, and they were pumping out like updates every week.
I feel like I see a bit of the method to the madness, though. You know, the double smokes comp, and along with the solo Reyna as duelist. Instead of having that like early agent that takes all the space, like Jet or Neon, for example, they drag in that Clove. So if he dies, he can just drop smoke to the team, and he can function as a second duelist. So that's a see if that's how they run this. Cupid's arrow is taken down short control, looking to execute a split, but Spiky Roses with 3 on the site.
I mean, they're still entering the site. Spiky Roses still has 3. The trades come in. Spiky Roses come out on top with +1. The mid-side smoke comes in. Steve Real kills Schwam, but Lexi's on the trade. There's another pick onto site, and I mean, it's a
Lexi left in a
3v1.
1v3 right now. It's one default, one spawn, goes to the default kill, isolates it. 1v2, cannot close it out, gets too low from the first fight, and we see, I believe, what, Cupid's, or was it Spiky's Roses take the first round?
I mean, the first round it's a huge round. It'll shift the momentum for an entire team. I mean, you got the pistol round, the bonus round, and then you even have the bonus round, which if you just win the bonus, I mean, it just like completely shifts the momentum, and then it'll just keep going.
Yeah, after you win first round, I mean, it's almost a guaranteed second round, and if somehow you manage that third round, which is pretty difficult typically, then you are set up for the rest of the game almost.
I mean, it looks like Cupid arrows are looking at a B hit. Steve Real with the Outlaw gets first blood onto Miracle. I never would have picked him out for an Outlaw player, but he just got first blood. Varsal entering the site with a flash. Perfect flash from the Spiky Roses.
Yeah, Barfield's in there all alone with just a classic. Manages to get one, tags Arena, but it's not enough. Just a big gun advantage difference. And right now, Spiky Roses sits in the advantageous position with a 3v2. Doggy gets to 1.
Spike planted. Now it's a 2v2 situation, and the Sage Wall, it completely blocks off the defenders. I mean, Steve Real, they're splitting apart. I feel like you need to stay together here.
Right now they have takeover rockets up. Right now they're just trying to stall to wait for this bomb to explode, because that is the way that the attackers win right now. Grabs one pick. They just need to let this bomb explode. If he gets the bomb cleaner off, there's a chance. He gets halved. He kills him 1v1. He has to defuse this, has to stick it, but he decides to run him down, and there's not enough time. Attackers win, going 2-0.
I mean, we just talked about how winning the first and second round is so pivotal, but then if you are able to just like win that second round off your opponent's pistol round buy, I mean, that's just so pivotal. It must be heartbreaking for Spiky Roses here.
Yeah, that's a pretty difficult blow to take. 1-1 right now. That second round should be theirs all day long, and it just wasn't. They had the gun advantages. They even got the bomb plant down, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, the Spiky Roses are still looking into force buy here into this round, but Cupid Arrows are not really caring. They are just rushing into the C site with M-Doggy solo on his site, trying to get off, but he gets picked off by Varsal. C-site under lock. It's a 5v4 for the Cupid Arrows, and Miracle gets one out of nowhere. Evan
Yeah, I mean, the defenders are really in a difficult situation here. It's a 4v2. It's looking like Cupid's Arrows already took this round away. And there it is. It's gone. They just had their Sage playing solo on C right there. You got a slow orb and a ghost. But there's only so much that you can do to maintain that site control all alone against 5 attackers running at you. And you see what happens. In these future rounds, they're going to have to play less dominant towards A and B and play a more split setup. You know, be ready to handle all of the sites. And if they're rushing, just get ready to shut them down.
I mean, with a double Senti comp, you don't really see them utilizing their Cypher as much. It looks like the Cupid Arrows are gearing up for a C rush, just like the past round. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're just doing the same thing.
That is something to live by, and the same thing that we saw last round, except Mdoggy is not on site to die this time. They'll be set up for a 5v5 retake, which is much better than where they were last time. But they're at a gun disadvantage. The enemy team has guns, so it's going to be really hard retake.
Mdoggy walled the spawn off. I mean, this is probably an attacker favor walled, but they're just entering up through garage. I mean, I think the wall here is more, if anything, it's attacker favored.
It was definitely an interesting placement of a wall.
It's hard to pinpoint really what was going on through Mdoggy's head. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit limit testy, a little bit you know, I don't really know where to throw this, so let me just like get it out. Didn't see a ton of value from it that round though. Maybe we'll see some more value coming down the line here.
I mean, Sasaki's going to try and get active on this A-long line. We haven't really seen much from them all game, but the Reyna blind comes in from Varsal. Sasaki ready to Reyna blind back, but Varsal gets the pick right off.
Amazing entry frag, and a beautiful pre-round from them. They just won the last 2 rounds by doing a full C hit. And then they conditioned the team to start stacking C as though they were going to hit C again, but no. Instead they rushed A this round. It was one person defending the site, they get the pick, and now it's a 5v4 situation, and they're completely set up to win this round. Jet dashes in, gets 1, gets 2. Now it's a 4v3, sides have swapped. It's tied up, 2v2 now, and Swag Studios pull this out and get themselves a win.
But they're not aware of the flank here. Swag Studios pulls out the Molly, but Schwam picks up the 2K, cleans them up on flank. I mean, that is a crazy entry by Stever on the defense side, picking up 2, but only to be cleaned up by Schwam in the end.
Truly, I mean, it looked the entire time like the defenders had the advantage there, and little did we know that the attackers ended up showing us something that we were not ready to see.
100%. I mean, I feel they had a perfect execute onto a retake too, but I think Cupid Arrows are just the better heavy hitters. I mean, at the end of the day, if you just shoot them in the head, they will die. So, you got no skill
Cypher is
into
currently
garage.
solo into garage, and there's 3 people outside prodding it. If he gets trapped, he's gonna die. Tejo's ulting garage. Is Cypher gonna die? Nah, he gets dropped. They're speeding into B though, completely moving away from this garage look, and they're gonna try and get this plant here. Gets flanked from window. Sitting at a 3v3.
3v2 situation for Mdoggy. But I mean, Varsal's just cleaning them up. You saw the entry pick onto their jet, and I mean, it was a perfect side execute, but it's a 3v1 situation, and you can't really do much when you're just left on eco.
Yeah, man, Varsiel was already heated up. There's that 3v front 1, and I don't think Sasaki could do it there. I mean, he would have had to pull out something truly incredible, but the enemy team was heated up, had the gun advantage, and it's just too big of a task for him to handle on his own. And we see Cupid's arrow go up 5-1.
It's a 5-1. I mean, they're still gearing up. I think they're sticking with this ranker mentality where, I mean, if they just group and hit, it'll work. Spiky Rose is just still in the spawn. They haven't really utilized their Cypher that much. The tail boom's coming in. I mean, it's a completely empty C site. They're just walking in for free.
Very similar show to the last couple of rounds. Just this group mentality, this pack mentality. I think it's been really working for them though. I mean, it's just been consistent, like all 5 stick together and let's just hit a site and try and win, and so far so good. They're up 5-1 and they're about to be up 6-1, 4v3. M-Doggy takes it to a 3v3 though, and they have Sage Res. If they get the chance, they can tie this back up. Fortunately, Varsil gets his 4th kill of the round and puts them in an unwinnable position. It's a 3v1, and let's see if Star has the chance to win this round. Sorry, Steve. And no.
I mean, Varsil's just looking unstoppable. You saw, I mean, he's obviously confident with the Reyna pick, going in, getting a 2K, 3K, 4K, and even the ace. I mean, he's just looking unstoppable. This defense team, I mean, they're going to have to do something to pull up the slack. I mean, they're leaving the C an empty side multiple rounds in a row. I mean, it just looked hopeless.
Yeah, right there, that was a look at Cupid's arrow, though. Sitting in the middle was Varsil, and I think I could have sworn that I saw aura, like, exuviating off of him. I'm not even convinced that that's a word, but I'm making it one because I swear I saw aura clouds forming around him.
But Sasaki gets one Steve Roll on the pick from Varsil. It's already a 5v3, 20 seconds into the round. Sasaki confident enough to go for more. Gets
wow,
swamped.
and just like a vacuum, Sasaki sucks away any aura that was forming around them and claims it as his own. Let's see if Spiky Roses can get their 2nd round and put a foothold into this game.
But M-Doggy, I mean, did you see that running gun? Talk about precise gunplay. But M-Doggy with just sticking the bomb, no time.
3v1, there's a chance. He's got Molly up still. He could even stall this for longer. If he starts sticking though, he's gonna have to start moving. Nice try, Swag Studios. Molly, if it got popped a little bit earlier, there was a chance, but didn't come out like that, and they lose.
I mean, I felt like that entire round was a mess. You saw swings coming in back and forth. I mean, people were dodging. But I mean, Spiky Roses came out on top. I mean, they looked like they finally came out with a game plan to counter Cupid arrows. I mean, maybe it's a run away from Varsil type of method, but you never know what the game plan is.
Yeah, that was a new look from them, and I'm happy to see it change. They really needed that round to stay in this game, and they got it. They're in the game now, and let's see if they can get their 3rd. They can make this half close.
Yeah. I mean, Haven is one of those sites. Sasaki gets off picks off Schwam here. Amazing first blood. They're already up 5v4 here. Varsil looking to equalize off of the KO back site here. Sasaki picks off another. Swag Studios picks up the 3rd. But Varsil already equalizing on M-Doggy here. 4v2 situation for the Spiky Roses. I mean, they finally got a footholding.
Reyna versus Reyna. Sasaki's 1, Varsil's full HP. Let's see who can pull it out. Oh, Varsil with his 2nd. Sasaki got 3, so now Varsil's trying to match that. Let's see if he can get his 3rd and put the foothold in this round for Cupid's Rose. Arrow.
But I mean, Varsil saw the pedal that his opponent was on and immediately pressed on the brakes. I mean, he already has the read that sees an empty site, but the Cypher Trip's there. He gets tagged. Still a 3v2. Varsil picks a 3K.
Ooh, that's some great scaling. You'd love to see that to make sure that they get that
I mean, 100%.
2v2 equalizer.
But I mean, you can see the defense team is flanking. They're both on the double flank. Will they be able to read here? Miracle sees one, sees both here. Calls out that they're both there. Varsil.
All they have to do now is play stall. They have a molly, they have a flashbang, they have knife and 5. This round is winnable for Cupid's arrow.
Perfect stall.
And Miracle gets the kill. It's a 2v1 now. We have to see something crazy from Spiky Roses to pull out this win.
Steve Earl is looking nice, but Miracle might be nicer. Never mind.
The 1v1 time is low. Can he get the 1v1? And Varsil stalls out the time enough to pull out the win for Cupid's arrow. 7-2.
3 rounds left in the half. Spiky Roses are, I mean, they're trying to make a comeback. They're inching their way, but obviously not inching fast enough. Here, Cupid arrows still take the lead to...
Right now, we're just seeing a locked-in diff. From my perspective, Cupid's arrow just looks more locked in right now. When you see Varsil, you know he's going to hit that one tap, and when you see these other characters on Spiky Rose, you're just not convinced. I want to see more Varsiel. These spectators better show us him, because I think the whole group of people watching the stream
But
wants to see this.
Stever looking mad confident, but it immediately gets put down by Varsel. The flash was not good enough here. Varsel gearing up to get his second onto Swag Studios, but M-Doggy swings with so much confidence, doesn't get any here. Varsel gets a second, but not really. Evan gets another 2 back-to-back, and M-Doggy left on solo on site, but Varsel just looks unstoppable on the entry. I mean, Sasaki, you have a Spectre. I mean, it's good luck, Charlie, from there.
Good luck, Charlie, indeed. He's able to find a Vandal, though, and swap to it. He's able to pick up 1 kill and turn the odds from a 3v1 into a 2v1. There's a chance for him. He's got a Vandal, he's got full HP, he's got a general understanding of where they are. There's a chance for Sasaki to pull up this round for his team, and they need it.
I mean, 100% something's definitely possible, but definitely not this round. Too many angles to clear, too many angles to see, and those angles were too much.
It's difficult in those situations. They smoke you off, time's low, you have to make a decision, and there's just about 17 angles on the other side of that smoke that you just have to worry about. If they hit the shot, you lose, and that's what we saw right there. They were just ready, took him down, and that takes Cupid's arrow to 8-2. An ultimately dominant half overall, 8-2. I mean, there's 2 rounds left in this half. This could turn into a 10-2 half if they keep this locked in.
And a 10-2 half is almost like impossible to come back from. But Sasaki tries to go for the early pick here, but is instantly boomed off from the Tejo. Varsel, so much confidence, so much aura, running up this A long, instantly KO knifed. Perfect stall util, what a flash. Varsel tries to get 1, but Sasaki gets 1 instead here. What can they do? Sasaki has the read on the game, knows that there's somebody in the corner. Here, no skill on the flank. I mean, after getting first blood, Spiky Roses seem to be lost, kinda. I mean, Sasaki gets 1, knows the other's in the corner.
We haven't seen much of this strategy yet from the attackers. They've typically just ran it down every single site that they've gone to, but right here it looks like the plan was originally to go A, but we saw a cancel call for the first time, and they just sit and hold. And they are starting to get the kills, they're peeking into them, and Cupid's arrow's up because of it. Sat, hold, played the patient game, and they reaped the benefits.
It's a 2v3 situation. M-Doggy gets 1. The person who's looked down before might not be looked down any longer, but Varsel, if Varsel's alive, anything is possible. 2v1, and Varsel gets the 3k shooting through the smoke.
I need to see some stats. I need somebody to hit tab right now, because Varsiel, if he's not at like 30 kills, then I don't know where he's at, because he has had an extremely dominant performance thus far.
When we're talking about heavy hitters here, Varsel by far has to be a heavy hitter. I mean, everybody has their heavy hitter. You have, Sentinels Academy, they got Redux. You got Rankers, they got Kenzera. Here, we got Varsel.
That is true. He's currently the IGL of our academy team at St. Clair, and he's been putting in a hell of a lot of work, and we're seeing that it's helping out a lot.
Obviously, I mean, the Saints must be proud here. Varsel, I mean, this is an interesting play. They look like they got 5 Odins walking up C long. I mean, gearing up against a Cypher here. They're walking into his trips, but Miracle spams off no skill here. Well, Miracle was about to get a second, but M-Doggy on the backside swinging. Swag Studios picks him up and puts him down. I mean, they have the site fully under control. No panicking, and it's a 3v5 for Spiky Roses. What can they do about it?
Yeah, I mean, Cupid's arrow, it's 9-2 right now. They're feeling confident, and they're pulling out the BDE play, If you know, you know. Like, they are feeling it right now. They're pulling out the Odins, they're crouching, and they're spraying, and that puts the defenders in a very tough spot. It is not fun to play against something like
Miracle
this.
picks up 1 against the smoke, but Stever, a 1v5 situation is definitely possible here. Picks up 1, picks up the second. Stever, take your time. You're about to make the important play of your life, son. Picks up the third. Anything now is possible, but Varsel is still alive. The heavy hitter needs to hit harder, but Miracle picks up the 3k for a 10-2 half here. What a round by Cupid Arrows.
That was some impressive stuff that we saw from Steve right there. I mean, most of this half has been Cupid's arrow just dominating, but we'd love to see it when Spiky Roses puts in a good fight against them. And that was a 3K, almost a 5K. Like, there was a chance for him to ace and win them that round. He had the knives, he decided not to use them, and that puts Cupid's arrow at 10-2 and now sitting on the defensive side. So let's see if they can keep up that performance.
Yeah, I mean, Spiky Roses, you're on an 8-round deficit here. You really have no margin for error. I mean, you have 1, 2 rounds, but no anything more than 3 is just not allowed here. They look like to be going for some sort of default, maybe an A main start here. Varsal picks off the first pick off of M Doggy, but Steve Real looks to equalize here. He sees the KO. He's got his eyes locked. He predicts the flash, but Sasaki picks up Lexi here, and he picks up 2K. Never mind, Miracle instead. I mean, the site's already stalled here, and the attackers just are instantly falling off. We just said no room for error, but there's so much errors being happening.
Look at the position that Brimstone is in right now. He is set up to be holding for this flank right now. There's 2 people outside of lobby. If they walk into him, Brimstone could win them this round. But it looks like they're not. They're resetting back towards A, and while Brim might have just had a 2-piece, he's in a weird position now to reflank them.
100%. Steve Real jumping up sewer, but I mean they don't know the person A long here. Miracle
Ooh.
picks up Evan. Both are at 1 HP here, but it's a 3v1 for the Cupid Arrows. An interesting round for Steve Real. I mean, Steve Real, he's been popping off, so I think anything is possible. I mean, everybody has their favorites. Steve Real's my second favorite.
Anything is definitely possible, especially when you're talking about Jet. And now the fact that Steve Real has his dash popped. But he's also on 1 HP, and I was about to say, there's a chance that he could die to the fall damage, and that's what happens.
I mean, talking about anything is
Ooh.
possible. Dying to fall damage is one hell of a possibility.
It might have been a calculated decision, though. You know, we cannot be too presumptuous to assume that he did it on accident. What if he just didn't want to give the enemy team the satisfaction of killing him? He simply wanted to do it himself. And I respect that, if that's the approach that he took.
I mean,
Do you respect that, Adam?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's 10-2. He might have just given up and been like, oh well, I'll just dash. And
It's true.
but I mean, we saw anything is possible. I mean, Spiky Roses pushing C long here. Reina with a Bucky. I mean, we got Schwam backside, but the Sasaki picks off Schwam. Varsal instantly gets the trade on M Doggy. Varsal picks up another 2K, but Steve Earl gets the trade on Varsal with a judge. I mean, Spiky Roses are playing the mind games, but Cupid Arrows have the long distance guns. What is happening? Miracle somehow in spawn, picking up Sasaki. Swag Studios picks up no skill, and it's a 12-2. I mean, that's a 10-round deficit for Spiky Roses. I'm not really sure what happened here, Jace, but
It was
Cupid Arrows look unstoppable.
a very, very niche start to a round. You know, when we were watching the other team on attack side, it was typically grouping as 5 and hitting sites. And that's what we saw there, but it wasn't a normal approach. They just sent 5 into garage and tried to see if it would work. 3 ended up going site, 2 ended up going C-Link, and it just didn't work out.
I mean, they're going to have to try their hardest. 10 rounds. This is when no margin for error is really, I mean, important. But when you have Varsal gearing up, he has so much confidence. He has the Karambit. He's ready to just knife somebody and take you away here.
Yeah,
Nothing off the bat. Steve Real pushes along, but Brimstone instantly picked off from Swag Studios with a judge. What a smart play, if you ask me.
it's just a very confident play from Swag. He's got the judge, he throws the deep smoke C-Long, and takes all the space in the world that the defender could take. And he plays it well. He gets his, gets another, gets the information for his team, so they are quickly rotating to the C bomb site. They have stuck them at the choke, though. They've lost the bomb, and the attackers have just shut down. Swarm takes out the last 2, and it's a GG for Cupid's Arrow, 13-2.
Talk about a dominant half, but I never thought it would be a dominant game. 13-2, what a dominant game by Cupid Arrows. I mean, what more can you ask for when talking about like skill and just like precise gunplay than what Varsal showed us today?
100%. We saw some crazy stuff, and I want to know what you saw from your side of things, Ethan. Do you see anything interesting that maybe you wanted to tell the audience about?
I mean, I just want to talk about that Odin round, to be honest. Cupid Zero is just the straightest of shooters. I can understand why they're named the way they are now. Just, it felt like they were trolling. They got so far ahead in round count that they're like, you know what, guys? Let's just all buy Odins. And they still managed to win it
100%.
out.
It always looks like one of those troll plays too, when everybody buys an Odin, but it also happens to be the most expensive assault rifle in the game and the best, therefore. So it's troll, but it's also really effective, and we kind of saw that in that round.
I mean, don't need to worry about whether or not you're going to get a headshot at range with the Phantom or the Vandal when you just have a bajillion bullets, right? So we're looking at the replays now. Just, I mean, again, poor Stev. He got the kill. He wasn't able to get the defuse though. He had no time. So just a lot of. It feels like coordinated plays. It feels like the Spiky Roses. They never really understood where the other team was. Whether it was just like team coordination, maybe it was something of the like with that, but.
I mean, I think Spiky Roses really just suffered from that overall like team disconnect and team. They needed maybe some synergy going into things. They always got one or two, but then they gave themselves for free. They never really played to get that trade off back. Like a lot of the rounds, you'd see them get first blood, even that second. But I mean, they would always lose out because they just played their ones. And I mean, the Valorant, it's still at the end of the day a first-person shooter. So just winning your gunfights and playing by your first blood, it's just such an important rule.
100%. And I think some of the problems that you could point out would also be seen in those replays that we just saw. Like, a lot of the time on the team, their duelists would be last alive, which is not super meta for the game. Normally the duelists go in, they take the space for the team, and if they die, they die, and if they don't, they don't. But you don't typically see them last alive in a round because the other agents on the team have all the utility. And right there we saw Steve alive at the end, sometimes the Reyna was alive at the end, and it's just hard to have the duelist agents as the last players alive. No hate on the players, but I think it's one of the components that set both the teams apart from one another.
Yeah, it really feels like Spiky Roses just left the door open, and Cupid's arrow, every time the door was left open, they were able to just slam it in their faces. And you can't really do anything when, again, as you said, duelist dying is a part of the game, but you need to be there with your duelist to get the trade so that they're not just dying for nothing, really.
100%.
But yeah, any closing thoughts on
I
the
mean,
match? I
we
mean,
all-
other than the ace.
We all some nice shots, but Varsal had some nicer shots, if we're being honest.
He carried the stream. He was the entertainer to the audience and to us. We appreciated the skill that he displayed for us. Definitely my favorite pick, and I'm assuming he's leaning towards y'all's now.
100%.
Definitely a varsity takeover. I mean, he got that one ace. I don't know if he had a second one. I can't remember at this time. But that will be it for us. Thank you, folks, for watching the Valorant Valentine's Brawl. Congrats to Cupid's Arrows for being our tournament winners. They are first, and I mean, second place is nothing to scoff at for Spiky Roses. Maybe they'll just have to come back another tournament.
Yeah, we're going to have a rematch sometime. But Cupid's
Yeah.
Arrows, take it.
For three of us, that's all. We'll see you next
Peace
time.
out, guys.